I first grabbed a rectangular sign from Dollar Tree. I will be using the back side of it, and I am just applying some Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. This only required one coat. Once you have that covered, go ahead and allow that to completely dry. You then just want to grab some cardboard, and all I'm doing is just measuring out just a little bit smaller than the width of my sign, and I am just creating the shape of a house. So just trace that house right out and then use a box cutter to cut that out. And then I just cut off the pointy top of it so that way it's just flat on the top. And use that first piece as a guide because now you want to measure out the width of that top portion of the first piece for another piece, and you want this piece to be longer than that first piece. And again, for the top, you want to just create the shape of a house as well. And again, once you have that traced out, go ahead and just cut it out using a box cutter. And now use that second piece as a guide for another house shape, only this one is just going to be a little bit shorter. And use a box cutter to cut that out as well. So now you should have these 3 pieces. And as you can tell, it's going to be the shape of a church. So once I have those cut out, I'm just going over them with some more of that Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. Just paint one coat and allow that to thoroughly dry. Once dry, I'm going over this with some of this Folk Art Crackle Medium, putting a generous amount on the cardboard. If you don't have Crackle Medium, you could substitute it with some school glue. And once this was applied, I allowed this to thoroughly dry as well. And now I'm going over it with Waverly chalk paint in the color Plaster. You want to just make sure that you have enough paint on your paintbrush so that way you don't overstroke, because it could reduce how well that crackle effect is going to work. So once you start drying it, you will literally start to see that crackle effect just appear right before your eyes. It's really cool. So once those are dry, I'm just going to find a good placement for it on that sign that we first started off with. And once I found good placements for it, you want to just begin hot gluing those pieces right down. I started with the bigger piece first, and then the smaller house on the top, and then that longer, skinnier house shaped right in the middle. And look at how pretty this looks. Next, I just drew out the shape of a window on another piece of cardboard. You want the window to be small enough so that way it fits on the sides of the church. Again, once I have that traced out, just use your box cutter to cut that out carefully. And then I just carefully cut out the squares inside of the window as well. So that way it actually looks like a window and not just like a piece of cardboard. And then just draw out another smaller, shorter house shaped on another piece of cardboard. But for this, you want to just cut that piece right in half. And this piece is going to be used as the doors for the church. And then trace out across and just cut that out using your box cutter as well. Once you have those all cut out, go ahead and grab some brown acrylic paint or chalk paint and just begin painting those pieces. This ended up only taking one coat, and then once that's covered, go ahead and allow that to dry. Then just begin tracing out the roof of the church on some more cardboard. And I ended up leaving these pieces a little bit on the skinnier side. Go ahead and paint those with your black chalk paint or acrylic paint and allow that to dry. And once you have all those pieces, go ahead and just start gluing all the pieces into place. I then found some of these pine needle pipe cleaners from Dollar Tree. I went ahead and just shaped it in a circle so that way it kind of looks like a small wreath. And went ahead and just kind of hot glued that on top of the church's door, and then added some of these red berries using some hot glue. And this last part is completely optional, but I decided to add some dry brushing with that plaster chalk paint all around the sign as well. I feel like it just gives it a little bit more definition, but that's just me. But that is the last step, and I think this came out so pretty considering this church is made out of cardboard. I hope this inspires you guys to create your own in your own special way. If it did, please be sure to sprinkle the love. Thank you so, so much, and I hope y'all have a good rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.